Hey everybody, Penrose776 here, new legendary banner. What's it gonna be? Fodlan? Fodlan? Who's left from Fodlan? Maybe... Oh, it's Yuri, okay. Underground Lord. You know, I liked Yuri back when he was still underground. He is a red dagger infantry unit. Let's take a quick look at his kit. Well, he's not quite sure what they're trying to show off there. He got, stalled. We'll see, presumably, when we see what they're trying to tell us with that. But yeah, Red Dagger Infantry, a Wind Season Legendary. And he's armed, to begin with the Abyssal Blade. Accelerates special critical and count -1 if he initiates combat within 2 spaces of an ally. Grants attack speed, defense, res +5 to unit. Neutralizes effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed, including with specials triggered before combat, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30% during combat. Of course, being a dagger, it also comes with Dagger 7. This is... honestly, like, despite the fact that this is just a big pile of good stuff, there really isn't much to say about this weapon as of itself. It's very much a just 2023 kitchen sink of good effects weapon. You know, half north follow-up, classic. Slaying, very good. +5 to all units, very easy condition to meet. And then 20% speed as damage, sure, 30% damage reduction. It's like, this is just the set of effects that they give to units in the present year to make them good when they're not really sure what else to give them. And Yuri has all of them. So, yeah, I'm sure he's gonna have a great time. He also, of course, being Yuri, has his personal assist skill, Foul Play, where he can swap but at range 3. So, you know, stand 3 spaces away from someone and then snap, they're out, you're in. Very handy for hit and run style strategies. The A slot, a new A slot tier for attack speed Hexblade. At the start of turn, if units within 2 spaces of a magic ally, grants Hexblade to unit for 1 turn, and if bonus is active on unit, grants attack speed +7 to unit during combat. And Hexblade is a new status. Calculates damage using the lower of foe's defense or res during combat for 1 turn, including damage dealt by specials before combat. Okay. So, Hexblade, well, I mean, Hexblade was previously a C-slot skill. The A-slot skill that I assume this is based off of, because it has pretty similar icon and everything, is Sorcery Blade. Sorcery Blade, you may remember, included on Olga. Yulga? You know who I'm talking about. Kind of an interesting skill, a very interesting skill by all means, but just not really up to strength as an A-slot skill it was, because 1, the condition was way too specific. It requires you to be adjacent to a magic ally while dealing damage, and 2, the bonus was just adaptive damage, which, to be frank, 1, like, other A-slots are giving you, like, +7 to 2 stats, right? So to get +7, even just +7 attack worth, your opponent has to have 7 stat difference between their defense and res stats, and, well, because you were already hitting one of those, and because it was only equipable by physical units, you're hitting defense already. If their res is 7 points higher than their defense, that doesn't really matter for adaptive damage. You're only getting a bonus from adaptive damage against opponents who have much lower res than their defense. So to put it simply, not a skill that got run, for very good reasons. In fact, even though they made it a seal, it still didn't get used. But attack speed Hexblade fixes all of those problems. 1, the condition becomes way easier to activate. You no longer have to be adjacent to a magic ally while dealing damage. You have to be within 2 spaces of a magic ally. It doesn't even have to be when the damage is dealt, it's at the start of the turn, and then you just get to bring the status with you wherever you go. And it actually comes with a stat boost now as well, which comes from the bonus. So, and because the skill is applying that bonus to you, you're always getting that. So long as it activates properly at the start of the turn, you can still be elemented out of your stats, of course, but even then, if there's another unit on your team who's applying bonuses, you get your stats. So yeah, interested to see what the inheritance requirements are, if they're anything like Sorcery Blade. Sorcery Blade was axes, swords, lances, bows, daggers, and infantry only. I expect this is going to be pretty similar, hopefully. It would be cool if they let it go to more units than that, but I somehow doubt it based on just getting inheritables for it. And honestly, this is, I've said before, this is what I really like it when they do with tier 4 skills in FEH, right? The thing I like the most is getting a new tier 4 skill for a skill tree that previously wasn't really worth much, so that suddenly all that fodder that you were never really going to use actually has a value, right? So yeah, I think that's cool. B slot Seal Speed 4, we've been seeing a lot of Seal 4s recently when there's one stat you care about. The Seal 4s are just a very good way of getting a big old stat swing in your B slot. Obviously there's like 2 stat ones in lulls, etc., but Seal skills effectively make sure that your opponent always has the effects for big debuff on them, and if you care about the respective thing, like speed in this case, they're a great way to just make big speed happen. And in the C slot, Fetters of Dromi, a new PRF C slot for Yuri, so Yuri's showing up with 3 PRFs as a legendary. Very fun. Enables CANTO 2. Okay, so fitting in with original Yuri, this Yuri also gets just ridiculous big CANTO, naturally. Great. The king of annoying hidden run plays is back. At start of turn, unit can move 1 extra space. That's the other thing that old Yuri did. This Yuri does it as well. After start of turn's skills trigger, if stall is active on unit, neutralizes the unit can move 1 extra space effect of this skill. And inflicts attack speed defense res -4 on foes within 2 spaces of the unit during combat. Oh, power crept Hell a little bit there. Well, Hell's probably getting a remix relatively soon, so that's fine. But, yeah. So this C slot is Yuri's whole ridiculous movement shtick in a C slot. Yeah, so free tile movement. He's a horse, but he's an infantry unit, but he's a horse. Which makes him better than a horse because he's not got the horse weaknesses of 1, lower stats, 2, can't cross trees, 3, struggles with trenches, that sort of thing. No, he's just an infantry horse. And the other thing is, yeah, he doesn't care about stall. If you try and stall him, which normally turns that gravity effect on if they've got extra movement, so it says, you're trying to move extra at me? No, you're stuck there now. He just goes, well, okay, I'm not going to move extra. I'm going to become an ordinary infantry unit again. And then the 4-stat, what's for one below hold as well, again? Well, basically, yeah, 4-stat aura of Blair to all the enemies near him. Obviously, that's a 4-stat swing for himself, but also kind of fitting in with the whole dagger thing. If he's going in first, then allies attacking after him can also benefit from this because it's inflicting it on the foe. All in all, I think yeah, this is kind of just a somewhat stronger regular Yuri. You know, regular Yuri, but just a little bit more powerful and with some fun new inheritance, to be fair. So yeah, I think this is a pretty solid unit. Gonna be relatively annoying. I mean, a little less annoying than Yuri originally was, just because CANTO control is a lot easier to get your hands on now, but still, like, old Yuri was annoying, new Yuri is still gonna be annoying. There's nothing much you can really do about that. Have fun. I guess for one thing to take note of is because Fets of Dromi, his insane mobility is now in his C slot, then the old builds of either instant lethality Yuri or instant AoE Yuri are going to be a fair bit harder to actually pull off, because if you're putting on like Times Pulse or something, that's losing his mobility. Although at the same time we've gotten far better pulsing supports in the form of, you know, Asuka, Duo Asuka. So you're probably still going to see a few of them, and since his weapon's extra speed-based damage works on AoE specials as well, those are still both very solid builds if you can pull them off. Let's see the rest of the banner, shall we? And his attack animations as well. Ooh, that's pretty damn fancy, not gonna lie. Of course, he is a pair up legendary in addition to everything else going on here. So yeah, there he is with Balthus, also from the same house as him. And also on the banner we've got legendary Sigurd, we've got Nut, we've got Ota, okay, we've got Medeus, we've got Asuka, we've got legendary Ninian, we've got Ascendant Air, we've got Hardin, we've got Embla, and then we've got Kaldri and Goto. Okay, let's wait until it gets to the little circle bit and we'll go over them colour by colour. Obviously, I think the key standout colour here is red, because it has the new mythic on it, not the new mythic, the new legendary on it, legendary Yuri. It has Embla, who is like the defining mythic of Dark Season at the moment, and it has legendary Sigurd, who admittedly is probably the weakest of the three, but is still like just the absolute king of movement teams, right? Being able to give an extra space of movement to your entire team with his special is something that is just unmatched still. Second best color, I'd probably say, goes to colorless pretty easily here. Goto, Asuka, both very strong mythics, and Medeus as well, actually, also a very strong defense mythic. Like, just get rid of Bolt Tower. Obviously, offense mythics you ideally want a copy of all of them, because, you know, they're offense mythics, they improve your score, and they're on the bonus rotation, so great, right? And then we're on to two slightly jankier colours. Now, green, I think, is the stronger of the two here, because Legendary Ninian is just one of the best units in the game, and Ascendant Air is, like, not absolute top tier of strength, but still one of the stronger ranged cavalry units you can run. Plus, as an Ascendant unit, if you haven't got a copy already, you can pick one up for that Floret. Ota is sad. He's a sad little man. And as I always say regarding Legendary and Mythic banners, if there's a character you don't want on the colour, don't pull the colour, because you're gonna pull that character. It's gonna happen. Sorry, you can't avoid it. And then blue, it's kind of stuck with, like, no, it isn't awful, right? She still has Pathfinder. She still does that very well, but she's competing for slots with units like Ember, units like Medeus, who all have potentially stronger supportive effects for your defense team than Note does. Obviously, there are still teams you can run her in. Obviously, there are uses for her, right? But you personally should know if you need Note or not. There's a chance you don't. And then the other two, Hardin, was like a cool little niche unit, but didn't have like insane like fodder that only he has or anything, and even his niche isn't something that most players necessarily need him for. And Kael'Tree, listen, being honest, Kael'Tree, I don't even remember what she had. So some sort of PRF with some vaguely unique effect, and like some valuable skills, but simply put, it wasn't exciting enough for me to stick in my head, so it can't have been that good. So yeah, personally, if I was rolling this banner, I would be rolling red and colourless and skipping green and blue orbs, but that's just me. Obviously, you're free to do your own thing. Also, I'm not going to be rolling this banner because as great as the new Yuri looks, I think I've got to hold out my orbs for something a little more impactful to what I do with my time, which is A for 8 defense. So, yeah, let me know what you people think. Are you going to pull for Yuri? Are you going to pull for any of these colours? How do you feel about the banner? How do you feel about it being another Fodlan character? Huh? I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting that. And, well, as always, I will see you all next time. Penrost out.